Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference (MEAC) is a collegiate athletic conference whose full members are historically black colleges and universities HBCUs in the Southeastern and the Mid-Atlantic United States. It participates in the National Collegiate Athletic Association's NCAA Division I and in football, in the Football Championship Subdivision (FCS). Currently, the MEAC has automatic qualifying bids for NCAA postseason play in baseball since 1994, men's basketball since 1981, women's basketball since 1982, football 1996-2015, softball since 1995. Bowling was officially sanctioned as a MEAC-governed sport in 1999. Before that season, the MEAC was the first conference to secure NCAA sanctioning for women's bowling by adopting the club sport prior to the 1996-97 school year. The MEAC is in danger of losing its automatic bid for baseball due to the departures of North Carolina A&T, Florida A&M, and Bethune-Cookman. North Carolina Central recently announced they will drop baseball due to having severe financial issues in its athletics department. When a conference falls one team below the minimum number of members in a given sport, it is automatically given a 2-year waiver to find a solution. But that automatic waiver does not apply if a conference is 2 teams short. As it stands, the future of the MEAC as a baseball conference is now in doubt. A conference must have 6 teams in order to keep the automatic bid. The MEAC is now at 4. History. In 1969, a group, whose members were long associated with interscholastic athletics, met in Durham, North Carolina with the purpose of discussing the organization of a new conference. After the formulation of a committee, and their research reported, 7 institutions, Delaware State University, Howard University, University of Maryland Eastern Shore, Morgan State University, North Carolina A&T State University, North Carolina Central University, and South Carolina State College agreed to become the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. South Carolina State had been a longtime member of the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, while the other charter members had been longtime members of the Central Intercollegiate Athletic Association. The conference's main goals were to establish and supervise an intercollegiate athletic program among a group of educational institutions that shared the same academic standards and philosophy of co-curricular activities and seek status as a Division I conference for all of its sports. The conference was confirmed in 1970 and had its first season of competition in football in 1971. The MEAC has had to date 3 full-time commissioners. In 1978, the MEAC selected its first full-time commissioner, Kenneth A. Free, who served as commissioner until he resigned in 1995. He was succeeded by Charles S. Harris, who served at the position until 2002. On September 1, 2002, Dennis E. Thomas became the conference's commissioner. The MEAC experienced its first expansion in 1979 when Bethune-Cookman College, now Bethune-Cookman University, and Florida A&M University were admitted as new members. That same year, founding members Morgan State University, North Carolina Central University, and University of Maryland Eastern Shore withdrew from the conference. All 3 schools eventually returned to the conference. Maryland Eastern Shore rejoined in 1981, Morgan State in 1984, and North Carolina Central in 2010. On June 8, 1978, the MEAC was classified as a Division I conference by the NCAA. Prior to that year, the league operated as a Division II conference. The following month, the MEAC received an automatic qualification to the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship. In 1984, membership in the MEAC again changed as Florida A&M chose to leave. The university would return to the conference 2 years later. Coppin State College, now Coppin State University. The MEAC would find stability in membership with the addition of 2 HBCUs in Virginia, Hampton University and Norfolk State University in 1995 and 1997, respectively. For the next 10 years, the MEAC would remain an 11-member conference. In 2007, former SIA member Winston-Salem State University was granted membership, but announced on September 11, 2009, that it would return to Division Roman II at the end of 2009-10 and apply to return to the SIA before ever becoming a full member of the MEAC. North Carolina Central University rejoined the conference effective July 1, 2010. NCCU was one of 7 founding member institutions of the MEAC, but withdrew from the conference in 1979, opting to remain a Division Roman II member when the conference reclassified to Division I. Savannah State University was announced as the newest member of the MEAC on March 10, 2010. Savannah State originally applied for membership into the MEAC in 2006 but faced an NCAA probationary period soon after. Membership was then deferred until the completion of the imposed probation period, which ended in May 2009. Savannah State then resubmitted their application for membership again in 2009 and was finally granted probationary membership status. On September 8, 2011, the university was confirmed as a full MEAC member. While the MEAC has had no new full members since then, the conference added an associate member in 2014 when Augusta University, then known as Georgia Regents University, a Division Roman II institution with Division I programs in men's and women's golf, Augusta became the MEAC's first associate member and first non-HBCU with any type of membership. The conference has since added 2 more non-HBCU associate members with Monmouth University and the University of Alabama, Birmingham UAB joining for bowling in 2018. In April 2017, Savannah State announced that it would drop to Division Roman II effective with the 2019-20 school year. In November 2017, Hampton announced they would leave the MEAC to join the Big South Conference beginning with the 2018-19 season. In February 2020, North Carolina A&T announced departing MEAC to join Big South Conference effective July 2021. Within few months, in June 2020, Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman also announced that they will leave the MEAC and join the SWAC starting in July 2021. A result, the MEAC will have 8 members remaining for 2021. The MEAC has hired a consulting firm to help assess its current schools and to help it identify potential institutions for addition to the conference. The conference plans to operate with 8 current members, starting 2021 until further expansion, in a compact geographical footprint removing North and South divisions. Member schools. Current members. North Carolina A&T will leave the MEAC on July 1, 2021, and join the Big South Conference. Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman will leave the MEAC and join the Southeastern Athletic Conference starting in 2021. Associate members. Former members. Winston-Salem State University was a transitional member and never attained full membership in the MEAC or NCAA Division I before returning to Division Roman II and the SIA after the 2009-2010 school year. They were scheduled to begin full membership and gain access to NCAA tournaments in 2011. Membership timeline. Full members, non-football associate members, other conference. Maryland Eastern Shore was a founding member of the MEAC in 1970 and left after the 1978-79 school year. In 1980, U's dropped football, and returned to the MEAC the next year as a full member that no longer had a football program. Florida A&M left the MEAC completely for one season in 1985 and competed as an NCAA independent after a disagreement with the MEAC office over the playing of the rivalry game between Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman University when FAMU refused to play conference mate BCU at a neutral site in Tampa in 1983, and the game was not played again in 1984. Florida A&M returned all sports to the MEAC in the 1986 season. FAMU football left the conference in the 2004 season during an attempt to move up to Division I and now FBS, with all other sports remaining in the MEAC. Financial difficulties halted the move after the 2004 season, at which time FAMU football returned to the MEAC. Winston-Salem State was a transitional member from 2007 to 2010, but never attained full MEAC membership, nor full membership in Division I. School was scheduled to gain full membership after the 2009-2010 school year, but due to financial difficulties, returned to the SIA in Division Roman II before then. Facilities. Sports. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference MEAC sponsors championship competition in 8 men's and 8 women's INCA sanctioned sports. Men's sponsored sports by school. Men's varsity sports not sponsored by the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, which are played by MEAC schools. Women's sponsored sports by school. Women's varsity sports not sponsored by the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, which are played by MEAC schools. Championships. National championships. Current champions. Football. The MEAC, along with the Southwestern Athletic Conference SWAC, are the only 2 Division I conferences whose membership comprise of mostly historically black colleges and universities HBCUs. In 2015, the MEAC joined the SWAC and Ivy Leagues in abstaining from sending their conference champions to the FCS playoffs. While the conference champion faces off in the Celebration Bowl against the SWAC champion, the remaining conference members remain eligible for at-large bids for the playoffs. This is a partial list of the last 10 champions. For the full history, see List of Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference football champions. Celebration Bowl results. Men's basketball. On June 8, 1980, the MEAC earned the classification as a Division I conference by the National Collegiate Athletic Association (NCAA). Since 1981, the MEAC has received a qualifying bid to NCAA postseason play in the sport of basketball. In 3 cases, MEAC schools seeded 15th Coppin State in 1997, Hampton in 2001, Norfolk State in 2012 defeated second-seeded teams South Carolina, Iowa State, and Missouri, respectively, in the NCAA tournament. Coppin State again made history, as it qualified for the tournament as the first 20-loss team to play in the NCAA tournament. Tournament performance by school. Women's basketball. Baseball. Norfolk State, 2020. Softball.